Good evening and welcome to my weekly 10 show, where tonight I'm going to be talking about why doubts kill more dreams than failure does in life. And I'd like to speak about what we're like as children, basically, when we're kids and we have all these wonderful dreams going on, and then how we grow up and those dreams just disappear and we just sort of settle for stuff that we don't actually really want in life, really. So, but before I do that, I'd like to say, anyone who's interested in my free resources, I keep saying this every week, but it's still available and it's over on my website, Obstacles to Stepping Stones. Sign up for my free resource on my website and you'll receive that straight away via email. And you'll also start receiving my weekly newsletter. Okay, anyway, so straight into today. What changes between when we're a kid and adult in order to stop us achieving what we want, our dreams, basically? What actually happens is we grow up, we start developing beliefs, thoughts. We assume things, we develop fears, we interpret situations certain ways by what we believe is going on rather than what is actually going on. And what happens is, over a period of time, over years, we start believing that things are not possible, that we can't achieve what we really want in life. So all of those dreams, all of those beliefs and all of those things that you wanted when you were a kid, or not necessarily when you're a kid, it could have been when you're older, but those things suddenly disappear and we just settle for something that we don't actually really want in life. So how do you create a mindset where we're free of that, where we don't have those limiting thoughts and beliefs and fears and assumptions and stuff like that stopping us creating the dream life that we really want? Because the thing is, there's no reason whatsoever why you can't live your life how you really want to live your life. And create your dream life. That's possible. And if you think it's not possible, that's one of those blocks that I'm just talking about. That's a limiting belief. It's an assumption. It's a fear. Whatever it is. So, what I really want to focus on is how do we get past those? How do we move through those so that we can actually start living a life that we actually want in the moment, now, without all of that crap going on in our minds that stops us doing the things that we actually want in life. So there's two types of blocks in life, in our minds I should say. You have an outer block and you have an inner block. An outer block is something like lack of time, lack of skill, lack of money, things that stop us actually doing what we want in life. So we might say to ourselves, well, okay, I'm 30 years old now, let's say. I'm older than that, but anyway, I want to do that new job. But it means giving up that job there, and I'll have to train to do that and develop a new skill. Therefore, there's no point in me doing it. I won't be earning any money. So on. So you create this belief in your mind that in order to achieve what you want in life, you have to give up something, and therefore it's not worth doing. That's called an outer block. So we give up. Okay. So that's a good example of saying a lack of skill, lack of money, and lack of time. We haven't got those things, so therefore we give up completely and we don't even bother. We don't even investigate what we can do, what we can possibly do to try and work around those blocks and achieve what we want to actually do, because we just automatically say to ourselves, no, it's not going to happen. So we have doubts. We tell ourselves it's not possible, and therefore we stop doing it altogether, and that stops us living our life the way we want to. So we carry on doing what we don't want to. And really, is that really what you want to do? No, because you don't. You want to live the life you want. You want to do the job that you want. You want to have the experiences in life that you actually choose to have. And you don't want to just be at the whim of life. So there's four main blocks to our thinking at any given time. 4. And when we're aware of those, when we know how to deal with those and remove those and actually address those, suddenly they become obsolete. You can learn how to remove them or change them, basically. So, for instance, a limiting belief There you go. I just used that as an example. A limiting belief is that I haven't got enough time in order to create what I want, or I won't have enough money to create what I want. So when you really look at that belief, how true is it? How true is it that you won't be able to actually create what you really want? So you identify what that belief is by looking at what you're actually telling yourself in the first place. I can't do that because of this reason. That's what you're telling yourself. So therefore you're reinforcing that limiting belief and telling yourself, actually, I can't do that because of this reason. So it's not, and then when you look at it and say to yourself, how true is that? The reality is it's not true at all, because there are options that you can choose other than that. It's just that you're not looking at those. You're looking at the only one perspective that you're choosing to look at, which is I can't do that because of this reason. And that's called a limiting belief. So therefore, when you look at that and you realize how much that limiting belief is actually affecting you, it's actually affecting you quite poorly. It's affecting you mentally, emotionally, in other ways. Who knows, financially perhaps. You're not living the life that you actually want because you're settling for something you don't want. And that's how a limiting belief can affect you in that sense. So when you actually look at it from a different perspective and open it and remove that core perspective belief which tells you, no, I can't do that, you suddenly see lots of different perspectives which may or may not be right for you, but you can look at things in a different perspective so that you can then turn around and say, well, actually, I can probably do this or do that. You can brainstorm a situation and come up with new ideas which may work for you instead of the ones that you already dismissed because you've already told yourself that you can't do something. Then you've got look at other blocks. You've got interpretations. You've got assumptions. And the biggest one, which is probably the one that holds a lot of us back, is fear. And what I've mentioned already, failure is fear of failure. Because what we do is we stop ourselves moving forward in life because we fear failure. And a lot of times we fear success as well. But fear of failure is one of the biggest holdbacks in life. So we will turn around and say, oh, I'm going to make a fool of myself. Therefore, I'm not going to put myself forward to do something. So automatically you shut that door on any dreams that you might have or possibilities or opportunities that might come about because you've already decided in your mind that this is not possible. That's called fear, and that's fear of failure. And the good news is you can remove those. You can get rid of fear. You can actually learn how to change the way you think about that. And that's by identifying where it comes from and what that message you're telling yourself in the back of your mind actually what it's actually trying to tell you. Because when you look at it, when you actually stop your subconscious dictating your life and actually bring yourself back to awareness, what you actually realize is that fear is there to protect you, really. It's not there to hurt you. It's there to stop you making a fool of yourself, because something earlier in your life developed that fear in order to protect you. And later on in life, as you get older, it's still there. It's still regurgitating itself, but it's no longer relevant. So when you remove something like that, suddenly, again, like with the limiting beliefs, perspectives open up, and that one perspective that you're hanging on to disappears or becomes irrelevant, because it's not actually one perspective that we all have. We've got hundreds of different perspectives we can look at any situation from, but 9 times out of 10 we only choose the one, and that one will be born out of our beliefs, our assumptions, our interpretations, and our fears, and that will stop us moving forward and doing the things that we actually want in life. So an assumption, I'll give you an example of an assumption. An assumption is built up in our emotions and our past experiences. So therefore, we will tell ourselves things like, well, that happened. I went for that job in the past. I got knocked back in the past. Therefore, what's the point of me going for a job in the future? Because I'll get knocked back again for the same reason. That's an assumption. So you're telling yourself something happened in the past, therefore it's going to happen again in the future. When reality is, how likely is that? If you're telling yourself it will, then it probably is likely. But the reality is, again, you're looking at it from one perspective only. And interpretation is the same thing. Because what you're doing, you create a belief, a story in your mind where you're telling yourself a certain outcome will happen, when the reality is it could happen in a million different ways. So I help people break free of those blocks and free their mind up of those blocks. And I do it using a process over a period of time with people. And it works. Because when you're in the moment, when you stop yourself, your subconscious mind leading your life and living your life for you, what you do is you can bring yourself back to the current moment, the now, and actually analyse where those thoughts are coming from and change them to something that works for you. So in the moment you feel like a drop of your energy, like you feel like you're questioning yourself, then bring yourself back to the moment and stop that. Stop thinking about all of those things and think about other perspectives possible. Remove those embedded beliefs that you've had from God knows when, and you'll start to see things in a different way. So like I said, I help people do that. I work with you over a period of time, 4 months. I do a process called a foundation program, which works. I use a book called the foundation program. And that helps you embed the information I'm talking about into your mind so that you're using it day in, day out, and it becomes natural and normal so that you do it without thinking about it. So these thoughts, these beliefs, these assumptions, fears, and all these other things that are stopping you moving forward and stopping you having your dream life disappear, and you can start controlling your life, and you can start living the life that you dream of, that you did when you were a kid. So like I said at the start, doubts kill more dreams than failure does, because failure isn't an option. Doubts is what stops us moving forward in life. So if you're interested in finding out more about my program, get in touch via my website and I will tell you all about it. And for tonight, that's all. So good night, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.